Hey, everybody, we're back again with our look at the movies of the 1970s. In this segment, we're going to look at the most overrated films. We're each going to pick our five, I wouldn't say top five, but maybe five movies that we dislike that are a little bit overrated and overpraised. And in our books, they're not worth your time. So we've got Brian here and Sean. We're each going to give a list of five overrated films from the 70s. To me, it was harder than in other decades because the 70s were so strong. But I came up with five, and I'm sure you guys did too. Doc, start us off.
I will jump right in on number. I've got a feeling I know already what Brian's got for one for sure. So we'll wait till we get there. But one is I'm just gonna go number five. Number five is A Bridge Too Far for me. Wow. I found this this got a lot of praise when it came out, especially on the other side overseas, British academies and everything else like this. This won a boatload of awards, maybe for the one side that it actually showed, the inept Americans that were helping out during this whole invasion that was happening at this bridge. I like Richard Attenborough. I like almost every. This is another cast of a million in this one too. Yeah, so Gene Hackman's in there, Sean Connery, you name it, they're in this movie. Doesn't matter who it is. Ryan O'Neill's in this movie. You know what? Ryan O'Neill should stick to friggin' comedies and stuff like that. This is when he's on the screen for these kind of things, man. It's just like I cringe, man. I can't even see this guy trying to portray somebody in the army, let alone acting like he's like some sort of guy that's got command over people or anything else like that. Laurence Olivier's in this movie. I mean, a cast of a million, fantastic cast, and they're all on screen for like 6 minutes because it's split up between all these great actors in this movie that nobody's really got the lead. Sean Connery, I guess, has the lead in this, but I mean, it's an epic 3-hour war bore. I don't know what else to tell you, man. It's there's no real sequence and there's no real flow to the movie or anything else like that. I just found it to be a complete bore. Definitely overrated for the accolades it got and everything else, especially overseas, like I mentioned. But Bridge Too Far, time not wasted. Well, that's all I can tell you. Number 4. Do I hate this movie? No. Could I sing every song in this movie? Yes. But Grease is not that good, man. It's I don't know what to tell you.
Love it.
I mean, I liked it when I grew up. If it's on and everything, I'll watch it. I don't care. It's in the background, sure. When I'm flowing with this deep story on this musical and this, when I start thinking about things like this, man, it took me right back to that Chicago thought in my head going, man, this is really just, come on, man. Look at the premise. Here comes a prissy little girl coming into school trying to head up with the head of the T-Birds, and she's going to transform herself into this hot chick walking around and stuff. That's the premise of the whole movie. That's it. Olivia trying to hook up with Travolta. That's the whole movie. Right. The pink lady is the T-Birds, the race cars, and Crater Face, and everything else that goes with it. I mean, we can all ring off with everything that happens. We know every song in the movie. It's overrated, man. It's not that good of a flick. The music's fine. And maybe I'm just not a big fan of Travolta either. I don't know, man. It's an overrated flick. I don't know what to tell you, man. Still looked at, people think it's this great thing from the 70s, and it's not. It's fine, but it's overrated. That's my number 4. Number 3, Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Nice.
Yeah. I mean, we are lucky as hell that somebody in the studio thought, yeah, let's put money into a sequel. Thank God we got the Wrath of Khan after that first piece of crap.
Exactly. Amen.
I mean, amen for Gene Roddenberry for jamming it down somebody's throat before he walked out, man. If you actually watch Star Trek, when it came out, man, I was so disappointed when the movie came out. I'm a big Star Trek guy, man. This right in my Nimoy, Kirk, Bones, Shatner. I got it all here, man. This is rated fantastic. I grew up with Star Trek. Star Trek: The Motion Picture.
Flat.
Thumbs down. I cannot tell you how bad a movie this really is, man. The whole premise on this movie of finding some sort of, satellite that got sent out in space or something like that years ago from NASA, and they go find it, and it's Vigor or something like that. Then
V'ger.
V'ger, there you go. Thanks, buddy. V'ger. And meanwhile, they get there and they find out what it is, and they're the first ones to break through it. Actually, and they wipe it down. Voyager 6.
Yeah.
And then they figure out the whole story in like 30 seconds. Okay, that must have went through a black hole, and they were sending us back to things and stuff like, Jesus, murder, where the hell did this come from? It's just like, it took us an hour and 45 minutes to find out you guys solved the whole mystery in 18 seconds. It was like incredible.
They made the movie like they made the episodes. Remember in the episodes, it's 50 minutes of something terrible's happening to you and 2 minutes of actually fixing it. Right?
Fixing it. Yeah. And it's exactly the premise they used and exactly what they used. And I thought, and they poured a crap load of cash into this movie. Man.
Oh,
it was like,
goodness. Yeah.
It was like 40 or 50 million bones to make this thing, man, or something. At the time, that's a crap load of cash, right?
Sure.
We were so lucky we got Wrath of Khan and the Search for Spock and everything else, because I do like a lot of the stuff that follows in the Star Trek series. So, but God, man, Star Trek sucks.
It does.
Definitely overrated. Number 2. I don't have a lot to say about this movie. I've just always thought it was been overrated. I have never liked the movie, and I never thought I could figure out why this guy was in the movie. It's The Last Tango in Paris.
Ooh.
Not a fan.
This has a lot of, listen, this, I mean, yeah, outside the, hey, that was his idea.
That was a hot take. Hot take.
Maybe it is a hot take. I don't know, but every time, I've seen it a few times, man. And I went back and I watched this again, man. I thought, man, that was just garbage. The movie sucks, in my opinion. The premise of the movie stinks. It's another one of these lost in translation kind of things to me before it actually happens, just because of the age difference and stuff. And I just cannot see Marlon Brando playing this character. It just, they needed somebody else to play this character to have a chance, man. I think that's probably the best way to put it. To me, it's an overrated movie. I'm not a fan of the movie, let alone anything else. Even if there was somebody else playing it, I wouldn't like it, to be honest with you. And I don't know, looked like Brando trying to do something different that, he should have just sat in the corner, if you ask me. So another thumb down. That's me. Well, you think that's interesting? Sorry, Rich. Here comes my number 1.
Here it comes. Sorry. I'm ready.
And this will be a little foreshadowing for something else that might happen later on. It's Annie Hall, man.
Oh,
so,
I got to hear it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to harp on things too much with Woody Allen because everything else with Woody, I don't care. But I've never felt any different about any of his movies almost any time that I have, because he's always the same. He's always this neurotic, narcissistic kind of guy that's always speeching on something. And he's always been like that through this whole thing. And it seems like every time he's in a movie doing these things, first off, his character is always the smartest. Second of all, he's dealing with a whole bunch of kind of not with it kind of actresses or leading women in these movies that are just almost like downplayed to him. Never really liked it, never really got it. And this one is doing it to Diane Keaton in this movie where she's the fluffy, and it's always that way. It's him. I'm taking Annie Hall. I could have taken Manhattan. I could have taken maybe something else into the 70s. I'm taking Annie Hall because that got all the accolades, man. That won Best Picture. I mean, the only other competition it had that year was Star Wars, and they're not going to give it to the sci-fi hit of the ever. That's not happening. It's so Annie Hall had nobody to beat to win Best Picture. So overrated. Woody Allen's overrated, man. This guy's been. He thinks he's the smartest guy in the room, and really, every time he's writing the script, he's just not. It's just. But he's always got the portrayal that he is, and I think that's kind of degrading to the audience in some senses. So I think Annie Hall, an easy number 1 for me on the overrated of the 70s. To be honest with you,
that's a hot
good
take,
one,
everybody.
Your top 2 are definitely. I didn't see either one of them coming, but I like that. That's what it's all about. You got to pick stuff.
That's as honest as I can give you guys. I'm just telling you, man. That's my opinion, right? That's all opinionated. So that's my
absolutely.
Opinion.
Those are good.
Thanks,
Brian. Can you top that?
All right.
You got one at least, Brian. You have one at least.
Yeah. Okay. At number 5, I've got all the Oh God movies. I don't like it. It's not funny at all.
Book 2.
This is
Book 2? Come on.
all of it. All of it's terrible. All that's terrible. George Burns, I'm sitting there going, how long is this guy going to hang on?
Got the cigar.
Really? I mean, basically his stand-up act is what he plays in his movies. And I just,
Totally.
the whole thing, oh God, just wasn't any good. I didn't like any of it. Sorry. So I'm not going to speak to a whole lot of these. I mean, because they're just terrible movies. So now coming right to number 4, I've got in 1975 and 76 and 78, there were 3 more Pink Panther movies.
Yeah.
You know, that's true.
Not, I mean, there were 3 in the 60s, and then there were 3 more in the 70s. I'm not a fan of that style of comedy. I'm just not. I mean, that buffoonery stuff, and when they remade it again with Steve Martin, wasn't a fan. I'm just not into that type of stuff. And I'm like, I thought all those movies are overrated. If I could span it through it, the whole thing, I would vote against all Pink Panther movies. If we could just say of all time, I'd say no Pink Panther movies made ever again. So that's my number 4.
Good one.
Number 3, I had Grease.
Oh,
Right on.
Yeah,
Nice.
I agree. I probably know every song in that show. I mean, it basically made Frankie Valli a rich guy, right? To be able to, every time those songs are played. But I mean, it's annoying. I mean, John Travolta and Olivia Newton-John are just they're not great actors. I don't care about any of the other characters in it. And it seems like as soon as there's any type of major rub where you can get a little bit of character development and dynamic, let's sing a song. Let's just sing a song about being happy. Let's sing a song about having tough times. Let's sing a song. And that's why I hate musicals so bad, is that I'm like, you can't just sing your way out of everything. You just can't do that. And Grease was one of those prime examples. I don't like the movie at all.
Yeah, but Grease is the word. Okay, go ahead.
No, it's not. I got a word for Grease. Anyway, number 2 is Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
I can see that coming, man.
What's it? Take shots at Rich Day or what? Come on.
No, that's a double shot, Rich, because that's coming right at me too. So.
Right after Andy
Listen.
Hall. Holy God. Go ahead.
I'm a huge sci-fi fan, but the thing is that when you're a kid and your idea of what a sci-fi is, it suddenly becomes the bar that Star Wars was, right? It becomes that bar. And so, like, for me, the pace of Close Encounters was just way too slow. Even now that I watch it again, it just feels like the pace is not right to kind of keep me engaged in the movie. I love the score. John Williams, that whole sound, that sticks in your head. That'll stick in your head forever. But there's only so long I can watch, people try to build a Devil's Tower out of mashed potatoes. I mean, there's only so long you can do that. I just don't have enough coffee, guys. I can't do it. So, Close Encounters, number 2. Number 1 for me, though, is Saturday Night Fever. I can't get into it at all. I don't like disco music, so I'm certain that didn't help at all.
That's
but I'm
not
like,
gonna help the guys.
Come on, it's the same thing. Our week was so tough. My family life is so tough. Let's go dance. Go dance. That's going to solve all of our problems. Come on. Really, I mean, I'm not saying that it doesn't have good things about it, but think about the hype that was around this movie in the 70s and whether or not truly it deserves that kind of accolades if we put it up front today.
No way, man.
I think it does. I just don't think it holds up at all.
No.
I don't think it does.
The original premise of Footloose.
Yeah. So that's what I got, number 1.
Wow, you guys
Good one, buddy.
You're kicking my ass today. I'm telling you.
Oh my.
Anyway, what was I going to say about? I got to go do my mashed potatoes in the other room. They're starting to pile up right now.
Start throwing the garden soil through the window now, Rich.
I was mid potato when we started this, so I got anyway. Now those are all good. I enjoy a hot take once in a while. Let me get my glasses on. My number 5. These are 4 of these are by big name directors, and I thought they were busts. and then the final one is just schlock. So let's go to number 5. New York, New York, directed by Martin Scorsese. This is a horrible, horrible movie. Any movie that has Liza Minnelli in it, I'm out. I mean, I can't stand the woman.
I have a prediction. Number 4 is going to be Cabaret.
Yeah, well, that's not a bad guess. But you got De Niro and Liza in this. What an odd couple that is. I think Scorsese was just trying to stretch and see if he could break out of his usual mob drama and do a musical. And whoever thought this was a good idea, this casting needs to be taken out and executed. I mean, it was just horrible. I just can't stand. I can't stand Liza. This is a complete misfire. Number 4, not much better. The Wiz, directed by Sidney Lumet. An all-black cast led by Diana Ross, Michael Jackson, Nipsey Russell. There you go.
Nipsey Russell, that's awesome.
A black version of The Wizard of Oz. Maybe on the stage this works well, but as a film, no, not here. It doesn't cut it with me. You don't mess with a classic like The Wizard of Oz, which is a perfect film. You just leave it alone. And
just ease on down the road, Rich.
Ease on. I have that written right here. Ease on down the road. That sums it up. Just a flat, uninteresting movie to me. Number 3, I never got the hype on this film. This woman was nominated for Best Actress and the whole 9 yards. A Woman Under the Influence, directed by John Cassavetes. What a total waste of time, this movie. This was a critic's darling. Jenna Rollins and Peter Falk as this couple who
I know the movie you're talking about.
It's a boring, pretentious, dull waste of time. They're sort of freestyling and ad-libbing and venting to each other about how tough their life is and obnoxious. This was supposedly a look at a woman's mental breakdown, but I don't know. I just didn't get it. Don't bother. Anybody that hasn't seen it, stay away from it. Number 2, Robert Altman this time, another named director. 3 Women. Horrible. With Sissy Spacek, Shelley Duvall, and Janice Rule. This is like this avant-garde, pretentious, artsy-fartsy, dysfunctional nonsense. I don't get it. I didn't like the characters. There's nothing to bring you in. It's like sort of an experimental film, a miserable failure. And number 1, the one that everybody had to go out and throw toilet paper and all this nonsense. Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Woo!
My number 1 most overrated film of the 70s. Cult classic, I know. It's got 0 artistic merit. What are you going to do? Throw some toast and some rice and some toilet paper, and here's my 3 words: get a life. So that's it.
So something about us 3, I don't think that we'd ever go see a musical together.
I don't think so, man.
I don't think so.
We're not one to buy into that, that whole theme of musicals. And I had another musical other than Cabaret, which I don't really remember enough to put it on, but I had Tommy, the musical Tommy. I thought it sucked.
Wasn't good.
Listen to the album.
Much better.
I had Straw Dogs with Dustin Hoffman. I never thought that movie was any good. An exercise in violence.
Yep.
Another Sam Peckinpah movie.
It was gratuitous violence too.
I didn't
sexual violence, regular violence. Yeah, it was all gratuitous.
Yeah. So that didn't cut it. But anyway, Annie Hall, Close Encounters, and what was your number 1 again, Brian?
Saturday Night Fever.
Saturday Night. All 3 of those were on my list somewhere to the positive. So that's good.
Sorry, brother.
That's all right. I can take it. Anyway, that was fun. That episode always is. Good. We always like the overrated category because you never know what's going to show up. Anyway, we're going to wrap that up. We're going to be back with another segment, this time drama, which is pretty loaded, if I do say so myself. So for Brian and Doc, I'm Rich. Leave us the comments. Give us your top 5 overrateds. And we will see you on our next segment. Take care, everybody. Bye.